Hello, welcome to the Mark Janad Show, the cybersecurity show. Are you on the edge of trying Linux Mint, like you have some reservations, or have you just entered the Linux Mint atmosphere? Well, in this video, we're going to cover Linux Mint and how you can maximize it, right? How you can get fun out of it, what to explore, what to do. All right, there's all kinds of things that you can do from a gaming perspective and things like that. So we're gonna get into that, right? But for those who may not know what Linux Mint is, right, it's basically a popular community developed Linux distribution primarily based on Ubuntu, designed for desktop and laptop computers, right? It aims to provide a modern, elegant, and comfortable operating system that is both powerful and easy to use. So, it basically makes it a strong alternative to Microsoft Windows and Apple OS, right? It comes pre-installed with a wide range of free and open source applications such as Firefox, Thunderbird, and VLC Media Player. It offers multiple desktop environments like Cinnamon as the flagship, developed primarily for Linux Mint, alongside Mate and XFCE as alternatives. It includes its own software management tools like, the software manager, Mint install, and update manager, Mint update, that simplify software installation and system updates. The system emphasizes user privacy and security, employing tools like AppArmor for mandatory access control and avoiding tracking technologies, right? It supports running many Windows programs using the Wine compatibility layer. It's community driven, right, with active development and regular releases aligned closely with Ubuntu's schedule, including long-term support. That's the LTS versions for stability. Now, if you're on the verge or you just got it, right, Linux Mint, and you're trying to see, here's basically the setup, right? This is the best setup that you can have as far as setting up the Linux Mint. So in preparation, download and create a bootable media, right? Download the latest Mint ISO from the official website. Choose your preferred desktop environment, right? And I would say, or it's basically recommended, that Cinnamon. We talked about that, right? So the Cinnamon, that's the most popular and user-friendly, right? So create a bootable USB drive, right? Create a bootable USB drive. So create that's on Windows, you can use Rufus. On Linux, you can use Etcher or similar tools. Select your USB drive, right? Choose the ISO and start the process. So install Linux Mint. Boot from the USB drive, like access the boot menu from, basically, you could use the F12, F2, escape, or delete depending on your system. Select install Linux Mint from the desktop, right? Follow the installer prompt. So choose your language and keyboard layout. So connect to the internet for updates and codecs. Select installation type, erase disk, and install Linux Mint for clean install. Install alongside for dual booting with another OS. Set your time zone, enter your user details and password. Do not forget, this password, right? So begin installation and wait for completion, usually 7 to 10 minutes, then restart when prompted and remove the USB drive. Now, in regards to the first and initial setup, log in with your credentials, complete the welcome screen's first steps, update your system via the update manager, install additional drivers, especially the NVIDIA or AMD hardware, enable system snapshots using the time shift for easy recovery, choose your preferred theme, dark or light mode, but we like that dark mode, right? And customize experience, right? Explore the built-in tutorial for a quick orientation. Now, essential custom, optimizations and software, you have the drivers and codecs. You can use the driver manager for proprietary drivers like graphics or Wi-Fi. Install multimedia codecs if not ready, if you're not already, done that during the setup. Now, system updates, run the update manager and apply all available updates. Performance tweaks, this is optional, but we want to maximize this software, right? For gaming or advanced use, consider installing the Xan mode kernel and the latest message drivers for improved performance. Now, software essentials, you have the Office, the LibreOffice, that's pre-installed. Browsing is Firefox or Chromium. The media is the VLC, the GIMP, and other favorites via the software manager. Now, in regards to gaming, install Steam from the software manager or via the official website. You can enable Proton for Windows game compatibility. Now, in regards to backup and security, set up time shift for automated system snapshots. Consider enabling the firewall, but it's not really a consideration. You should really enable the firewall. Regularly backup personal files using Mint's built-in backup tool, right? So that's, basically some of the setups and the things that you can do. Now, the fun part is, the customizations. You can change wallpaper and install themes, right? You can download wallpapers and themes from sources like Genome, look.org or GitHub, like the Orchis theme. To apply a new wallpaper, you can right-click the desktop and select Change Desktop Background. For themes and icons, you can go to System Settings and then Themes. Here you can select or add new themes and icon packs, right? Install new icons. So download icon packs and extract them, right? You can extract them to, and Peter, you could put those two on the screen, the icons and the user share icons. Please put those two things on the screen. You can select the new icon theme from the system settings, the themes and then the icons. Now you have the panel, that's the taskbar customization. You can resize and move the panel, right? Right click on an empty space on the panel and select panel settings. Adjust the panel's height and position, whether it's bottom, left, top, or right of the screen. Add and remove applets, right? Right click the panel and select applets. Browse available applets like the workspace switcher, weather widget, CPU monitor, and add them using the download and manage tabs. To move applets, activate panel edit mode and then drag items while holding the Alt, right? Now for the panel appearance, in panel settings, adjust transparency, the icon size, and font size for each panel zone, whether that's left, center, or right. To further personalize, apply different themes via system settings and then the themes. Now you can also customize the menu and button layout, right? So you can right click the menu icon and select configure to set custom icon if you desire. You can go to system settings and then Windows and adjust button placement, whether it's left, right, close only, Mac style, right? That's cool. Now there is the workspace and window management. So there's the Alt plus Tab preview style. So in system settings, you can go to Windows and then the Alt tab. You can choose your preferred window switcher style. The workspace switcher applet, you can add this applet for a visual overview and easy switching between virtual desktops. Okay. Now there are so many things that you can do you can even customize the fonts. You can change system fonts. You can download fonts from the fonts.google.com, install by double clicking the .ttf file and selecting install. So install Genome Font Viewer from the software manager if needed, right? Then set new fonts in system settings and in the fonts. That's after you have, went through your due diligence and, you picked one. Now, Linux Mint also offers, a gaming system experience, right? It's a very fun software and tool to use. But you would have to, set it up in the right way. Well, right is subjective, but we want to maximize our experience. So to set up Linux Mint for a gaming experience, you're going to want to update your system, right? Open a terminal and run this code. Please, Peter, put that on the screen. So this ensures all packages and security updates are installed. Then you can install proprietary drivers, right? You can go to the menu, then administration, and then the driver manager and select the recommended driver for, your, GPU, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel. Then for AMD GPUs, ensure that you have the latest, method drivers. Now, for the gaming software, you have to install Steam, and basically it's easy by just using the terminal. And Peter, please put that code on the screen. So alternatively, you can also use the software manager, but configure Steam. That's the Proton. In Steam, go to settings and then compatibility. Enable Steam Play for all other titles, right? Select Proton Experimental and another Proton version as needed. Then restart Steam to apply changes. Then you're going to have to install Lutris and Heroic Launcher. So Lutris helps run games from multiple sources, whether that's battle.net, GOG, Epic, etc. And Peter, you could put that code on the screen for them. Heroic Launcher is recommended for Epic and GOG games combining libraries and one UI, right? Now for performance optimization, you can use the kernel and graphics stack. So, for advanced users, consider installing a low latency kernel like the Xan mode and the latest message drivers for improved performance. You can refer to trusted PPAs or guides for installation details. You can enable game mode, right? That's the cool part of this. The game mode is often pre-installed on Mint. It optimizes system resources for gaming. So to use with Steam games, you can add game mod run, the command percent as a launch option. Now, this is optional, but if you want to take things to the next level, you can use the game scope and FSR. So game scope is a micro compositor in AMD FSR upscaling, which can further boost performance, especially on lower end hardware. Now, if you run into any issues, or troubleshooting, you can check game compatibility. You can use Proton DB to check how well your games run on Linux and which Proton versions work best. For anti-cheat compatibility, consult. You can, are we anti-cheat yet? And it's reportedly it's a big problem, but hey, it is what it is. You can use Flatpak, versus native packages. So Steam is available as both, as a native package and a Flatpak. The native package is generally recommended for stability and simplicity, though Flatpak can be useful for sandboxing. So that's what I have for you today. Please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button and the like button. If you want more videos like this and you appreciate this video, let me know that by hitting that subscribe button and the like button. Also, let me know your opinions in the comments section below. I appreciate your viewership. Stay safe. See you in the next video.